All right, real quick, for everyone here that's a newer returning player, I'm going to go over this all real fast. So listen up. We're going to talk through all the jewelry stuff, ability stones, bracelets, and jewelry, how to roll, how to handle all these systems, and it's going to go real fast. I'm going to go as fast as possible, I promise. Okay, so going up here, we're going to start with jewelry. You do raids for jewelry. In T3, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be all the same. When you select like T3 jewelry, you have these lines on the side. Don't even bother with this. You get it for free. If you have a character made, you go down here to universal storage, and you should have something you can claim down here and use for now. If you're using a challenge express or event character, it's pretty much giving you all that stuff for free anyways. Don't worry about that. Okay, if you're in T4 and you're looking at your existing T3 jewelry you have equipped on your character, it's not a past character that doesn't have free T4 jewelry on it, and you're like, should I get relic? Well, the questions I'm going to ask you are, is the character 1640? Do you plan on ever honing it higher? Does it already have the T3 jewelry on it? Because you can get away with the T3 jewelry and be just fine with it for a very long time. You could try to look at rolling jewelry, but it's usually not worth the gold rolling it, in my opinion. What you can do though is control right click, search for jewelry, and I can change this now to relic because I'm talking about relic. Whenever you're looking at the auction house, change it to all, and we're gonna go to refine levels 3. Now, I'm going to talk through what you're going to be looking for here, but when you're looking at jewelry, this is what I'm going to talk about. Is doing accessory all, relic, if you want an ancient, quality 70, refine level right here, and then the tier 4. So we're talking about tier 4 jewelry mostly right now. I'm not going to really talk about T3. We just kind of skimmed over that real quick. So going down here, I'm going to zero out this right here, or we're going to look for accessory basic effect or refinement bonus rather. So let's say I was looking at trying to get a single line mid relic piece. I would then change this. Now, what does it mean when we say low, mid, or high? Well, right here, we have a low, mid, or high. So it's like blue, purple, or legendary, basically. So if we're talking about single line mids, I would start here. And if I was looking at that on relic, so you can spend like 2k gold and get this stats. Now, looking at the stats, I have this cheat sheet I use around my community. I'll put it down in the video description here. This is going to eventually go onto YouTube, but if I go down to the bottom here, I have a bunch of information for you. So right here just kind of tells you the generalized damage gain for each one of these lines as you roll it. And I'm going to talk through this in game in a second here. But additional damage, it gives you a little bit less than outgoing damage, but it's still not that far apart. You have crit percent, crit damage for DPS, attack power percent, and weapon power percent. So between necklace, ring, and earring, these are the main lines you're looking for. And then in addition, you have weapon power flat. Now, some people may advise you to get single line mid or single line highs to start out. That's great advice. However, if you're using the event, you reach 1680, you're going to get single line mids for free. Don't need to worry about that too much. Now, this right here kind of calculates out the high flat, like all the different things. So single line high is 1.81% damage increase, whereas if we're saying all high, like the total damage, all these different calculations. Down here it's showing the stat ranges. Now on the jewelry in this game, there's a range, and it used to be based on quality only. Now it's a split between your vitality and your prime stat. So if I look at this piece right here, mouse over it right here, you can see how I have intelligence. What did we search for again? Okay, so let's mouse over this. So if you look at the intelligence range of these pieces here, so you see how this one is 17,777. Going down to this one, we're at 16,384. So that like 1,000 stat difference or whatever it may be, it's about a 0.1%, just rounding it for simplicity here, damage increase having that higher stat. So always pay attention to your stat if you're spending your fions in order to buy jewelry, because you could be losing or gaining a little bit of extra damage. Sometimes you'll find like bargains and stuff like that where it's going to have a little bit lower stat, but you're going to be able to get the better rolls and things like that. Now, so when we're talking about getting other types of damage here, we're going to look at ancient jewelry now, and this is going to be the talking point because a lot of people are asking about 1680 and stuff like that. So relic, again, you don't need to really buy it. You can buy it if you have the extra resources. You can gain some damage. Let me show you all the other stuff in one more second. We're going to talk about the ancient real quick. The biggest thing with jewelry in general is always going to be that enlightenment point right there. If you look down at the bottom of this piece of jewelry, it says arc passive point enlightenment plus 12. So as long as the piece is over 67 quality or higher, you're going to have maximum enlightenment points from the piece. Now, if you get something that's lower than that, when you full roll it, which is refining at those 3 levels, it's going to not give you the full amount. So just as a talking point now, I'm going to show you a quick like TLDR way of how to do this. But before we do that, I keep jumping around a little bit, I know. We have additional damage, outgoing damage. These are the 2 DPS lines. For support, you're looking for Serenade and Brand. Now, Brand is the most important one. If you're going to buy something that's single line, as we say, high, you want Brand Power 8%. And then from here, all these other things don't really matter as much. You can try to get weapon power as a support. Even HP, it's not great, but it is what it is. And you can click on up here on the right-hand side. It shows you all the different things. Now, my earring here has attack power high or weapon power % high. That's what you want. Now, if I were to roll this one piece, supports would want weapon power % here and then a flat weapon power. But I'm going to show you how to roll one piece. Just as an example, I'm going to click this. Okay, so I hit weapon power flat mid. Now this over here on the right hand side is not something you really want. So this right here to me is already dead. If it doesn't have weapon power or attack power, it's done. Okay, you can try to gamble further. I wouldn't suggest it, however, because you're just wasting these shards. Now, how do you get these shards? Again, I had that T4 sheet right here that we were looking at. And if you scroll down here, it kind of goes through all the different things you can do to earn those. But the main source of that is doing your chaos dungeons, your raids, dismantling jewelry that's unrolled, that's of low quality. If you want like dismantle settings and things like that, different topic. But this is going to show all the different rolls, all the different qualities. We'll link it in the video, no problem. Going down here, now on rings, you're going to be looking at the ally attack power enhancement, ally damage enhancement. Those are the most important things. And then for rolling, it increases every roll. So that's why it's most efficient to roll one time, see if you win, and then dismantle it if not. So 75, 150, and 225 on rolling relics versus 10, 20, 30 shards on the relic pieces. Now, something you can do is earn jewelry on your other characters and send, I think there's still a cap, up to 20 accessories without consuming Fions between your roster. So I can send jewelry from my alts to my main character, whatever character's low, to try to like give them more inventory of those luminous shards for rolling and gambling. Now, as a newer returning player, again, if you're getting these free pieces of jewelry in your pass that are already single line mids, I wouldn't even advise touching this. Like, don't worry about gambling jewelry. Just save your gold, buy what you need. Like the rush, the race to get that really good piece, you're most likely not going to get it. Spend your gold on what you need. So that's another quick little point there. Now, this piece, if you notice, is now Enlightenment 5. Now, as a talking point, although you should not do this on this piece, I'm going to click it one more time here. So see how I went to garbage again, and I spent extra gold, 1,200 per tap, and then 150 more shards. Next one is 225. So the reason I did this, though, is to show you that Enlightenment point effect. Now that's at +8. Now, if I click it one more time here, we got this one here, and then Enlightenment went up from 8 to 12. Every time I refine, intelligent, like the stat goes up each time. Okay, so now if we look at that piece I just rolled, where is it? Right here. So there we go. So look at the stats spread there, like we we're talking about, how intelligence, vitality kind of has that shared pool. Quality is not the direct indicator of what has the most, as you're always going to want that prime stat though as a DPS or support. Very good. Now, if you notice, the arc passive is now fully rolled. So when you're searching jewelry, that arc passive point effect won't always be there. So that's why I say when you're doing this, take out that refine level or go for 3, depending if you want fully rolled or not. And the other thing is changing the trades left. Check the quality, always go 70 and above. You can even go higher than that, but 70 above is about where you want to have most of that stuff. So if, let's say I was looking for a single line high, just again as this talking point, I'm going to do this right here, and I'm going to click search. So this is a single line mid, and then we can just mouse through these and see what's good, paying attention to that prime int stat. Now, if I wanted to go for a single line high, I would look for this. Now, supports again, like we talked about earlier, going through this right here, so it's like 100K. So new players aren't going to really have that, right? But again, let's kind of talk through these all one more time. I'm going to use these T3 pieces as a talking point because I don't have any other pieces on me. DPS, you want attack power, weapon power % with the flats down below. Supports, you want, where is it? Weapon power % and weapon power flat down here. For rings, you want crit rate, crit damage. Now, some classes don't need more crit rate. Some need more crit damage. So make sure you look up your class, see who people are using, ask questions. There's a lot of people in the community that are happy to help you. And then support, you're going to want to look for that ally attack power %, ally damage enhancement effect. So to go through it one more time, I'm gonna roll this neck. Me as a veteran player, I'm not. I'm gonna click refine accessory, use 75 shards, 1200 gold. Let's click it. I rolled garbage, right? I didn't hit additional or outgoing of mid or higher, so we're just gonna get rid of this. It's worthless. So now, if you notice, my shards were looking a little low there, right? I fully rolled this earring here. Now I can dismantle this earring, and since I invested more luminous shards into it, it actually is going to give me more shards back. So if I have a ton of shards on an alt, rather than just sending over those like unrolled jewelry pieces, I could potentially, if I have the resources, like refine those up, then send them over to gain more shards when I dismantle. So dismantling this piece that I rolled 3 times is going to net me 180 shards back. This piece right here, 180 shards, right? So this one I only rolled once. We're going to get back some shards here. I'm going to get back 30 shards. Yeah, 40% of the amount. Good call out, Mr. KJ. Fun. So that is like jewelry in a nutshell. You're looking for single line highs, single line mids, depending on where you're at in your roster, what you can afford. Don't go outside of your means, and we'll go from there. Now, is it worth the gold? Depends on if you need shards and you're shard starved or something like that. You need to roll a bunch of jewelry. As you get higher up and you earn more ancient jewelry, do more raids, you're going to be earning more shards in general. There's also been some in events and stuff like that. This frog event, for example, and has these boxes in here. Where is it? Does this one have it? I think it does. Yeah. So like this event exactly, the summer festival shop. Look in the event shop. Sometimes you have these luminous gem shard packs. Sometimes in the F4 shop you have those as well. Pretty straightforward there. Now in the Twinkle Twinkle shop, you have these. I don't know why it says all these unavailable. It must be a bug on mine. But anyways, there's some luminous shards here, and this one as well looks like a gamble amount of 100 to 2,000. These ones right here you can also buy as well using these, but I wouldn't recommend using these until you buy out that selector. Okay, now that's kind of like TLDR on jewelry. Now let's take a look at bracelets. Now what should you do with bracelets as a new player? Now relics you can roll. The main thing you're looking for is your 2 prime stats. So this character here is crit spec, so I want crit spec on my bracelet. Can I get away with not having one of those? Yes. Can I get away with not having those? Probably not, because a lot of classes have like specialization breakpoints. You have crit, you need your prime stats. Like, and the higher the better, obviously, right? But bracelets are like a grind over time. Don't spend, again, every time you buy bracelets on the auction house, you're spending fions. You can use Paradise to get more. You get them in your dailies and stuff like that. So just as you get them, roll them. So I'm going to look at what I have in my inventory. Let's say I'm a brand new player right now, and I'm looking at what I have here. So this right here is 1 static stat, and then we have 2 rollable stats, or 2 bonus stats, right? So I could, in theory, roll this, and let's do that now, just so you can see how the system works. Is my camera in a good spot, or is it going to block people? I think it's mostly good, but let me move it down low, just in case. All right, let's move I'm going to move myself in the corner. Okay, great. Okay, so now that I'm down in the corner down here, I have 2 rollable stats. I have this prime stat here. Let's say I'm crit spec. So I'm going to hit grant bonus. I have 4 rollables. Every time I click, silver, it takes silver. Each time you click, the silver amount increases. So I'm going to click OK here. Now, if I was a support, great. That sounds good. But we don't care about that. So I'm going to hit select here. But if I rolled absolute garbage, I would do rework. But since I click this, I'm going to hit OK. And let's say this was a crit specialization class. I would then re-roll here, just that single line. Now, intelligence is a damage line, whereas ally attack power is not. So I'm going to hit select here, go on. So now this is going to be less damage than the potential damage lines. Now, if I wanted to see everything possible, I would look over here under combat stats. These are the different stats I can roll. So you can roll endurance, expertise, domination. You never really want those unless you're running some weird off-meta build. Don't even sweat it. Just look at what your prime stats are. Only worry about that. Now over here under special effect, there's a lot of juicy ones in here. So you can click on this special effect on the top right and go through all these and kind of decide what you want. There are some bracelet calculators out there that kind of give you a general idea. They also have the new combat score in game. So if I equip different bracelets, my score will either go up or down. You can use that as a rough indicator if a bracelet's better or worse. Now, what I mean by that is if I go in here to my inventory and I have my old bracelet, which is very similar to the one I have on. So I have 2344. So if I equip this bracelet, I went down to 2325. So this one was more combat power. Therefore, probably better, but that's not always the case. So definitely double check things before doing that. But as a new player, it's a good indicator. Now, going back to that bracelet we did not finish. So just to look at this now, if I was a support player, this is like mana regen. This one's combat HP regen. Not really things you're looking for here. As a support player, you're going to be looking for anything that gives you ally attack power enhancement, damage enhancement. Scrolling down some more, crit damage shred with more ally attack power enhancement, crit resistance, which is increasing your group's crit chance, defense down with ally attack power up. The protection effects are whatever. Cheers right here, this one's called, another attack power enhancement. Weapon power is okay, prime stats okay, even vitality's okay. Like, it's something you work on over time. It's not something you're just going to have a god bracelet most likely within your first try. So this is just something you just want to roll bracelets as you get them. Don't roll bracelets you don't need to do, and go from there. Now you can upgrade your old bracelets here. So if I go to exchange, do I have any of these? Okay, so let me show you how this works. So I have these old relic bracelets, so you can actually search for older bracelets. Let's roll this swiftness one for fun real quick, and we're gonna go over here and look for, where is it, this guy right here? Okay, let's say I was rolling this bracelet, and let's say this was great. Oh my god, I love it. No, just kidding, we're not gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna lock this crit, change bonus. That's a guard. This is for chaos dungeon mobs, doesn't really do anything, so I'm gonna roll again. Okay, vitality or combat mana, basically mana recovery. I'm gonna stick with the mana just to show you how this works. Click upgrade bracelet, do this. It's gonna use this new ancient bracelet material. So as you dismantle more bracelets, you can either turn them back in to get new gambled bracelets, or you can use it to upgrade relic. So you can actually search for older bracelets to upgrade them if you have the right stats. Now, something to be said is once I upgrade, you can't roll these anymore. The new line is the only line that's gonna be upgradable. Okay, cool. So going back to my list of things here, let's do one more bracelet just for fun. We're gonna roll this one. So this one got, let's select this one because you got crit damage. That's a great line. So then we roll again. This class is crits, but wow, non-directional, great, right? We're gonna lock that in. The problem I have right now is this class, if you remember, is crit specialization. I don't have my prime stats on here. Can I get away with not having specialization? I don't think so. So we're gonna roll again. Okay, so this one right here is already a dead bracelet. It looks cool, it looks like it has damage, but having your prime stat on there is very, very important in almost all classes. Some things are good. Now that's kind of like a quick rundown on bracelets, how to upgrade, how to roll them, what to look for, what not to look for. And then after you're done with them, you can just dismantle the ones that you end up like, hey, this sucks. And then what that turns into is this dust down here, and then going down here. And then I can do this exchange to buy more if I wanted to gamble again, like with these extra bracelets now, or I save some so I have enough powder to upgrade a relic. So just gonna go through all these real quick here. Yeah, okay. Any questions from the class? Any questions from the class? Any questions? No? Great. Okay. All right, guys. Say bye to YouTube. Bye, YouTube. That was your TLDR. Okay, great. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Nope. We're not repeating that. Okay, bye. Say goodbye.